But I also feel like it's good to have a backup plan.
Yes.
Because I feel like also with sports, you get injuries in sports,
Yes.
you get knee injuries, you
Yeah.
got ankle injuries, and they tell you can't play for life.
Yes.
So
Your
now what
career
happens in
gone.
that situation? Because at least if you've got the science degree, you can go into corporates, whatever you want to go
Anytime,
into
yeah.
crew. And like you having a broken ankle won't affect you working in the office. You don't affect you working from home.
Yes.
So I always recommend having a backup plan, but also in
Yes.
that backup plan of yours, be honest with yourself that if I do pursue the sport and I do well and I become the Sia Kolisi of the world, if I go back to the corporate world, if I go back to, the studies that I actually studied, I will enjoy it.
Yes. It's something that I'll manage to do. Yes.
I think that's also something very, very important that
Yes.
I'd like tell everyone.
Especially teaching. You have to have some sort of passion for it.
So do you have a passion for teaching?
I think I do,
people?
yes. Yes.
So with Bachelor of Education, are you going to go into FET, high school?
I'm doing senior phase in FET.
High schoolers?
Yes, high schoolers.
These 2000s?
Yes.
Are you ready for them?
I think
I mean, like,
am.
you're so tiny. Like, no offense, anything, guys. I'm not judging him or anything, but like he's so tiny. Like, you know teachers, most teachers, you look at them and they just look like they're teachers. They've got the smirk. Teachers always have a Toyota Corolla, so you better buy a Toyota Corolla and just have that Toyota car. You can't be pitching up there with a Porsche.
Could never. Listen, I'm so fortunate to live in a race with other prospective teachers, and I've seen how the teaching world has actually evolved. We're not really the same as it used to be. Teachers now are hot, number one.
Yeah, teachers are hot.
Now
I see them on Instagram, and I'm just like, this
hot. You won't even know that they're teaching for life.
Why are you wearing a weave? Teachers back in the day literally only had afros. That's all.
Yeah.
All my teachers had afro, and I went to a predominantly Indian school, so it was just Indian teachers, and the black teachers would teach Zulu.
Okay.
So they probably had afros and they had their natural hair, the braids. But you see, like, isn't there like an age where we don't take teachers below this age?
No,
because you go to some schools and all the teachers are like teachers that have been there for a very long time.
Yeah, for a very long time. Yes. Which is why, to an extent, there's a shortage of teachers because it's only old people that are going to retirement that are actually doing teaching. But now we have young people like myself doing teaching, 23-year-olds, 18-year-olds.
23-year-old teacher, you're going to get there into the grade 9 class.
Literally, if like, things went well for me, I should have started teaching.
So how do you want to be a trans? Like, I'm so I can't take this fact that you're
like
going to be a teacher. Like, for real. Like, the teachers will be like, Mr. Yalwa. And then you're going to
I actually did my teaching practice. I went to Rustenburg Girls High last year. Disciplined school here in Cape Town, and wow, it was nice. Like every time I get into the class or they get into the class, they stand outside, they come inside, they stand before they sit down. Good morning, Mr. Yalwa. And I say, morning guys, sit down. They take a seat.
And even then wait, paint a picture of a teaching practice, like a typical day into like your in-service training, right?
Yeah.
You'd get there, normal time as the teachers, you'd be like what would you do? Would you be like an assistant teacher, like a recess teacher?
So
like, what's going on?
Because the requirements, because when you go to teaching practice, you have to bring back a portfolio of all the lessons that you had and observation sheets and stuff like that. That's what you fill in according to what you observe. So an observation sheet, you write what you think when another teacher is teaching, what you observed and so forth. So you get in like a teacher early hours of the day. So say, for example, maybe on your second year, you're supposed to do 16 lessons.
Yeah.
So you have two majors, mine English and accounting. So you speak to the teachers. Firstly, in your first week, you just get to know the school. You just go around, learn, okay, this is this class, this is that class, learn the timetables that this teacher gets this class at this time, teaching this subject and so forth. And then you decide for yourself, what are you going to teach? So for example, I say I'm going to take the grade 9s for EMS, the grade 8s for EMS, and maybe the grade 10s for English. You choose for yourself when or what do you want to do. What are you going to teach? When are you going to teach them? And then just take them for just 1 or 2 lessons.
And then you're there like literally teaching them.
Yes.
I remember teachers used to have lesson plans. So do you still do?
Yes, you have to do a lesson plan.
I feel like the world has evolved, guys. Like, why are you doing... Like, I remember they used to write down what they're going to teach the next day. So do you still...
We do... In a year, we probably have like 20 assignments that has to do with teaching like a lesson plan. Always. In TP, you have to submit like 8 lesson plans. Those are the lessons that you're supposed to have. So you do have to have like a lesson plan and you have to submit it before you teach. So I'm going to do my lesson plan. I give it over to the teacher so that she looks over it and then she tells me, okay, in your introduction, maybe include a video or do this or do that. Then they help you and then you go and you teach. You have to have a lesson plan because that's how your lesson is supposed to go. It helps you to have a lesson that's more compact.
I'm still shocked. I just never understood that whole point of lesson plans because you'd see the teachers stressing like the day
about
before.
The lesson plan.
Or especially if like, I remember our high school teachers used to, even primary, they used to get invigilated by like the deputy principal or the principal. So I know that the day before, 2 days before the principal comes and addresses your lesson, they will have PowerPoints. They will have all these exaggerated things. I'm like, but you don't usually do this on a normal basis. You're only doing this because this person's here. So how's the pressure like when it comes to like the invigilation of either another teacher, a principal? Don't you feel that
you
like,
do feel some type of way, especially as a student teacher?
Yeah,
you feel a certain way, but I think the way to go forward with it is to be like, that person is not here to judge me, but rather to teach me to be a better teacher. You understand? Because you're still a student. So when you're giving off your lessons, you're basically giving her or him points to correct you. So basically after the teaching lesson, they sit you down, they tell you, okay, this is where you went wrong, this is where you went right. Otherwise, teaching, not that much of a hard job. You just have to put your entire heart into it, and you have to make sure that it's understanding, it's impacting knowledge. So as long as you're teaching someone something, that's good.
And another thing I've noticed is that some teachers become emotionally involved with the students. How do you handle that, like emotional involvement? Like, with maybe students. Someone is coming from a home, maybe an unstable home, or there's abuse in the family, and this person, maybe some people are working jobs even whilst they're in high school, they're doing waiting just because they need to provide for the family. How does that impact you as a teacher?
Well, you know what, teaching as a whole, when you're a teacher, you have to play more than one role. You can't just be a teacher. You have to also be a psychologist, a friend, a family member, mother, a father. So you just have to know your limits, know how far you can help and where it ends and stuff like that. But you have to be emotionally open. So that's why I say even for foundation and intermediate phase, it's harder for them because, say, for example, in foundation phase, you have kids, grade R's. You have 30 people, 30 personalities, 30 children, actually. 30 personalities. If John is crying, you have to cry with John. If Sam is happy, you have to be happy with them. So you have to change personalities in between. So that's also for the senior phase and FET teachers. You have to be able to level down to students and be where they are and meet them where they're at. You understand? You can't be forcing a student that's not living in a good condition to do well. It's impossible for them to do well, but you can support them rather and think of ways in which they can do better in that environment. So you have to change, shapeshift into personalities and so forth.
That's and a lot, actually, emotionally.
You have to be like a completely different person. You have to meet people in like different. It's like working with people. It's like customer service. Customer service, this customer is angry. You have to come down, you have to say and do the work. That's what it is. So if the student is hurt, you have to come down, be with the student, help them through their hurt to get over it and to learn.
Like, this is so informative, guys. Like, the thing is, I remember now that when I was young, obviously the teachers would be the best support system and stuff. And obviously with teachers, you can open up more easily than you can with even your family members, stuff, whatever. Because they're not going to judge you. You're just going to be there and that's going to be it. And then, like, I remember, like, it'd be school holidays, then kids would go home and then come back and they'd say, first day, every single day, whether it was June or December, write down what you did for the holidays. And I think for me, as much as that's a good thing, I think that should kind of be let loose or discontinued a little bit, because not everyone goes on a fancy holiday. So you always have maybe Sam saying, oh, my family and we went to France and then you did this, and I felt like it always felt a bit wrong, because not everyone has the luxuries or the opportunities to go. So if you're asking, rather, I feel like the question should be rephrased on what did you enjoy about your holiday, or what did you hate, or whatever, just something
that everyone can relate to.
Everyone that can relate to, because if you're asking what did you do for your holiday, someone went to France and someone was at home for the whole 2 months.
They feel less fortunate, they feel small.
It does demeanor them. So I don't know what, like, you do your lesson planning, right? And lesson planning, you do ask the students, okay, it was holidays, guys, what did you do? Or even things like show and tell. How do you think those type of things could be improvised?
Can you rephrase your question again, please?
Okay, for example, if there was a student, like I'm a student and you Mr. Yalwa, I can't believe you. I'm going to call you Mr. Yalwa.
Yes.
But anyway, Mr. Yalwa says, okay, guys, this is the end of the semester for... Okay, not semester. What is the
end of the term?
Term 2. Oh my gosh, guys. I haven't been in high school for a very long time. I'm so matriculated in 2015. End of the term, you're like, okay, guys, when you come back, you have to write the best day that you had during your holidays, whatever. Like, how else can you rephrase that in order to accommodate everyone?
I mean, just like you said now, instead of saying what did you do in your holiday, just ask them what they enjoyed about the holiday. It has to be like general questions, not going in too deep in what they did, because obviously things differ and not everyone was happy, but it must just be general questions that everyone can answer, what they enjoyed, how it was being with family and stuff like that. And sometimes maybe it might help just to avoid those questions. Just avoid those
I think
questions.
also it would help a lot too in our education system.
Just
Even
avoid
things
those
like I
questions.
really enjoyed show and tell when I was young, but there'd be times like, okay, let's say this I remember it used to be on Fridays in primary and be like, okay, it's show and tell for like food, and you're just
You don't
bringing
have
like a
anything to show
coleslaw
and tell.
sandwich or whatever,
Yeah.
and some kid is like bringing a mutton biryani or a bunny chow, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. And then
Yeah.
because also it differs, some parents level of care, some parents think, okay, I'm sending my child to school, that's it.
Yeah.
And then there's a parents that's like, okay, I'm sending my child to school, I need to be involved with their homework, I need to be
Yes.
involved with this. So what advice would you give to parents also to try and help their kid in the whole journey of schooling?
Okay, they have to be there for their students no matter what. Always ask what's going on, what are you doing, where are you. Always also communicate with the teachers as well, because they get the front view of how the student is in the classroom. So that's the best person to contact. So if you see a student is doing less than that and that, you have to ask the teacher sometimes. Ask the student, your child first, what's going on? Is everything okay in class? How is this going for you? Do you like this? Do you not like this? Speak to the teacher. What's going on here? What's going on here? And also, you have to listen to your child. Most importantly, I think you have to ask from the child themselves as to what is it that they're enjoying, what is it that they're not enjoying, and maybe talk to them, because sometimes it's small petty things that they don't like, or small petty things that just distract them. So it's a thing that you can talk with them about and get over it. Yeah. But just always be there, always be involved, ask questions, and your level of care as well has to be very high, because people come from different places. And when you meet other people, you feel small. Some people you just feel like they have more things than that. So you have to be comfortable in what you have. And they have to understand as well how it is at home. So this is what we do at home. This is what we eat at home. And you have to be comfortable in that. There's nothing wrong in that. Yes.
Oh, damn. Look at Mr. Yalwa just being the teacher that he is.
I'm
just
trying,
like, guys,
I'm
so be involved in
trying.
your kids' school and then do this and do this
trying,
and do this.
I'm trying, but I
feel
think
like
being
teachers
there for your
also face a
students.
lot, because we see a lot of, like, now that TikTok is a big thing. Sometimes on TikTok there are Reddit videos, and Reddit videos, people say, when I was growing up, we were not that fortunate. Maybe in primary school, my parents only became a little bit wealthy in high school. Maybe I didn't have shoes. Maybe I didn't have a shirt. So what do you think of, like, those sorts of problems? How would you solve someone when you do see, like, I have a student that maybe these shoes
Needs 1, 2, 3.
they need 1, 2, 3?
Well, it can be a bit offensive sometimes when you offer help to students. So you have to, like, know your limits. And communication, just, I wouldn't outright just buy the pair of shoes that I see they need, but rather ask at home, is there anything that I can do to help? Maybe can I help with shoes? Can I help with that? I remember in my high school, if you were a bit off or whatever, they'd call your parents and they'd ask at home, like, what's going on? What's up? Is everything okay? We saw he doesn't have shoes. Should we help? Should we not? So we had initiatives and stuff like that come to the school to give out for your peers and stuff like that. So it's basically, if I see there's a need, I can approach, see where I can help. But also not oversell yourself, because you are a teacher at the end of the day. So you can't really help everyone in everything that they do.
Yeah, because obviously now you're going to have kids saying, but my shoes got old and then the teacher didn't buy it for
understand?
me. So I think if it's a school intervention type of thing, it's better, because if it's an individual
intervention, it's going to have to be down low.
It's going to be like, but so-and-so is your favorites. And what do you think of that? Because we all know we had teachers' pets growing up, guys.
No.
In each and every grade, there was that one person, whether it was a female or male, who was a teacher's pet. So how do you feel when, let's say, for example, you're doing your in-service training and you could see that, okay, this particular student is more like, not I'd say attracted, but more like, okay, they're going to do their work, they're going to do the homework, they're going to have all the highlights and everything. And then you're going to have students that are just not interesting. How do you balance the two?
Well, I don't really think I'm the right person to answer the question, because the school that I went to was way different to what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It seemed as though that there was not really, like, an intense teacher relationship with the students. Like, they just walk in class, do their thing, and go out. It's just, like, mutual. It's not really deep. So I can't really say this is the favorite student and this is not the not so favorite student and this. I didn't really see any of that. But it does happen sometimes. We have to stop ourselves as teachers to say, no, we have to love everyone equally, because we're teaching all of them instead of just one student.
I remember when I was a tutor and I was a teaching assistant at CPUT. You don't even subconsciously have favorites. Like, you don't say, oh, this is my favorite child. But if there's a child that's always doing their homework, a child that's always trying, even if they're not smart, you're bound to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you that extra level of care because you are meeting me halfway. And then there's some kids that just don't care, and it seems like you don't want to also help them, but they're not even, I think also teaching has a lot of meeting each other halfway.
Halfway, yes. Yes, it really does. I can only help you in as much as you're willing for me to help you. You understand? So if I say, okay, let's start doing like maybe afternoon classes with you for this accounting, whatever. If you're not willing, there's really nothing I can actually do for you. If you keep on saying in class, yes, yes, I understand, and you don't really understand, there's nothing I can do. You have to meet me halfway and say, in as much as I understand 1, 2, and 3, I don't know going forward how to go on. So you have to meet each other in the middle.
I do get that, but also I feel like there's a bit of I wouldn't say shame, or there's a stigma.
Oh, okay.
Like I do remember when I was in high school, there used to be like the cool kids. So the cool kids were not allowed to ask questions because, but you're a cool kid, you're supposed to be smart and know all of that.
But that all goes back to what we said earlier when we were talking about choosing the modules and stuff. You have to be realistic. In as much as you want to be cool, you have to be realistic to say, I don't know how to have my balance equation like balance. It doesn't balance. My balance statement is not balancing. You have to be able to ask for help. Be open to ask for help. There's nothing wrong in that. We're learning. It's a school. That's what we're there for. We don't know everything.
I think it's the stigma for
me. It's the stigma. It has to come to an end, though. It has to come to an end.
So there was a lot of stigma I remember about, okay,
I know when you ask help, there's always stigma that you're slow.
Or even the pretty child, like, oh, she's so pretty. Why is she not smart enough?
And
I
you
thought
meet
her
that.
mom, especially when we have children that's those I remember I had friends whose parents were like, business owners, or whose parents were like chartered accountants or doctors and stuff. And then you get the child that's not as smart as people thought they would be. And the parents would push and push and push, but the child is just not getting it. They would give them extra lessons, they'd give them tutoring, like they'd offer them all the help, but it all starts with you and knowing your capabilities. And I had friends that knew what their capabilities were, and they'd try and try and try. So maybe what would you say to parents that are successful and they feel like, okay, I really want my child to be successful. I want my child to have a good career. I want my child to basically be like me because this education path worked for me. And then the child's just like, I don't like school. I don't feel like going to university. Even passing grade 11 was hard enough. So what encouragements would you give as either a teacher or current students or anything along those lines? Just saying that it's okay.
I think as a parent, at that point, you have to just give advice. And there has to be variety. So, okay, school is not working for you, but what else? Unfortunately, in life, we can't move on without a plan. So we have to know what is it that we can do.
You can't move on without a plan.
Yeah, we have
to. Wow.
You have to have
Blown
a plan.
Away.
You have to have a plan. So you have to, okay, fine, you're not interested in this, but what is it that you like? Maybe we can enhance that. What is it that you can do? Maybe we have to enhance that. Maybe be it painting, music, whatever. Let's look into that. What can you do to be a musician? What can you do to be a painter? You have to have a plan on what you're going to do. So when you see your student is not really, or your child is not really into education that much, empower them in what they like, empower them in what they like doing or what they could potentially do, like radio.
I'm all about empowering because I feel like there are also other countries.
Don't force it down their throats to say, I'm an educated person now, you also have to be educated. Maybe then that's not for them.
Because also we have a lot of students that actually get to university. They do extremely well in high school because they're being forced by the parents. And now that they have to actually do these university courses, they end up committing suicide.
Exactly.
Because they
it's too much for them.
I actually don't want to do this, and my parents keep forcing me, and my family
you have to listen to
me.
to the student.
They think this is what's best for me.
You have to listen to the child at all times.
I think also parents just need to remember that the child is not a copy of you.
Yes, they're completely
different individual. The child has 50% of the mom and 50% of the dad. So if the dad's genes are not popping in terms of education, or the mom's genes are not popping, then the child might not take those genes.
Or both of you guys were popping in education, and the child comes and they're like a replica of the grandmother.
Exactly.
They're not into education at all. You have to just guide them into the right direction.
Yeah, I think parental guidance is important.
Into the right direction. Just like you have to do something, motivate them to do something, and they choose for themselves what is it that they want to do that's going to support them in the long run. Don't force a specific flow, a specific career path.
Because I know so many people now that studied music that are successful, that started drama that are successful. And one thing I can say is that each and every job has its challenges. You can go and study drama at a university and become an actor and still have challenges. You can be in the corporate world and you still have challenges. There's no job or there's no workplace that's easier than the other. You can study medicine, being a doctor is hard and draining. And if you go and study maybe music, being a musician is actually quite hard.
Yes.
But people have the stigma of, okay, if you didn't study, you're going to be nowhere in life. If you look at most of the creatives in, I could say in the entertainment industry, it's not people that studied for it. If you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Some people just
Yeah.
knew I could play drums and they became the world's greatest
Best
drummer.
drama.
And then there's some people that actually did do an education and they actually are creatives with a
Yeah.
background and they're like, actually, I just did this maybe maths degree or whatever just to make my parents happy. I know basketball players that have the NBA
Qualifications,
players.
yeah.
They have qualifications
Yeah.
and they're still NBA players. Like I remember that if I were to tell my parents, okay, guys, I think I'm gonna study netball or basketball,
Yeah.
they'd be like, are you crazy?
My dad wanted me to be a lawyer.
Really?
I swear to you, my dad was a security guard, and someone that he worked with was studying like at night at the job. Job he was studying to become a lawyer, and he graduated to become a lawyer. And my dad was like, "Yeah, that's where I see you. You have to, do that. It gives you a lot of money. You get money, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Yo, far from me. It's definitely not what I want." But when I told them, guys, no, this is not my clue. They understood. So you have to understand and just have a plan. Have a plan. That's all.
Hi, Mr. Yalwa. It's been great being with you guys.
Yeah.
I just want to thank Standard Bank. Thank you again. Thank you for your presence today. Thank you for empowering teaching. Hopefully we'll have you back soon. Guys, if you have any comments, you're welcome to leave comments on all our social media channels. If you want him back, if there's a specific question that you have,
like
we'll
the salary.
I don't want to go into the financials as yet, guys.
The pros and the
this
cons.
is only episode 2, so we want to keep it smooth. We want to keep it nice. We'll speak up of the salaries in the next coming episodes. But if there's any other information that you need from us, I have an Instagram page. I have my Facebook page. I've got all the other social media channels that you can reach me on. But one thing I just want to say is thank you, Standard Bank, for this opportunity. This will forever be my Standard Bank table. And it was a Standard Bank B Unboxed competition. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me, Chami. I enjoyed myself.
Damn. Mr. Yalwa, the
Nice
teacher,
chat.
guys. Hopefully you graduate soon and
I
then...
go to South Korea.
South Korea? What you want to do in South Korea?
Teach English. That's the
You're
plan.
leaving us.
That's the plan. 3 years. I'm
and here we are on the podcast saying, hey, Mr. Yalwa's going to come and teach you soon.
No.
Guys. Don't you worry.
No.
He's here.
I'm leaving.
So your plan is South Korea?
My plan is South Korea. Hopefully it works out.
Is there a specific reason why South Korea?
No, there's no reason
countries.
actually. I just want to leave South Africa for a while. And I feel like that's actually why I'm majoring in English. I major in English so I can teach English abroad.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's really why I'm teaching English. I was like, what am I going to do? Okay, I like accounting, so I'm going to be an accounting teacher. Okay, fine, I could do that. What else? English. Why? Because it has an advantage of me moving abroad. I like that. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers, so soon you guys will be seeing me.
We are manifesting this lifestyle.
Soon you guys will be
international
seeing me.
living, international borders, passport vibes.
It's more.
What currency do they use in South Korea?
Actually, I have no idea. All I know is that your starting salary is 2.2 million, but here it's like 37K, so not that much. I want to work in Kuwait though. Kuwait, the currency, one Kuwait is like 50 rands. So if I say 200 Kuwait, this side it's 10K.
Please send me just 10. I'd be happy with 10. I'm not even 5. I'm not asking for
it's
much.
Enough, hopefully. But those are opportunities as well that come with education. So you can study major in languages such as English and go abroad to teach that language abroad because it's in high demand. Dubai is hiring.
The sky is the limit for Mr. Yalwa.
Teaching.
Hopefully you start teaching in South Africa first.
I will.
You betraying us. You studying at CPUT, a South African university. You're supposed to give back to your own community.
I certainly will. I certainly will. I will teach in South Africa for not for a long time. I mean, I can't promise that, but I will teach in South Africa first. It's been nice. I enjoy the schools and I'd like to learn more about South African. Education system and how it goes. It seems nice. I enjoy it.
And then you're moving over to South Korea.
It's not forever though, because they die there in China.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on about teaching in all these countries.
But teaching has a lot of opportunities. I think for us, we sometimes say, oh, you're gonna be a teacher, wake up every day, and that it actually comes with a lot of advantages as well. So you can go abroad, teach English. We have firstly the security of a job. You know, if you're hired, you're hired. It's not great money, but it's a stable income that can actually support you. So it's good enough. I enjoy it.
You're so passionate and I love it for you. Thank you so much for coming again. Thank you to Standard Bank again. And guys, hopefully you'll see Mr. Yalwa soon. If you don't see him here on my podcast on The Voice of Nkosi, you'll see him at a high school at an FET near you. Is there anything you want to say to a student who might be listening to this thinking, actually, he inspired me to teach or study teaching or have a Bachelor of Education, and you meet them one day? What do you want to just say?
You know what? If you want to do it, you can certainly do it. Don't let anyone discourage you. Don't let anyone look down on you. it's worth it. If you have passion for it, you're actually going to quite enjoy it. It's like working with people. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like gonna be the best teacher. It's beautiful.
Actually, teaching doesn't
stay
really...
like this, because some teachers start with that passion, like, yeah, guys, I'm a student teacher and I'm here to empower and love. And then 3 years later, they're like, bye, detention.
No, that's not right. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to... You need to have a personality. You have to have like a great personality. Teaching goes with personality. It's not just you knowing. I mean, knowledge matters. You have to have a relationship with knowledge. You have to know knowledge. You have to be able to impart knowledge. But you also have to have a great personality, because you're dealing with people. True. You're not teaching robots. You're teaching people. You have to approach them in the right manner. So you also have to have a great personality.
You sound like you're just so passionate about this. It's like, yeah, guys, can you please all just study a Bachelor of Education so we can just... Are you going to gossip in the staff room? Guys. Teachers gossip in the staff room.
I think I'm going to gossip with my students. I think that's better.
Really?
Yeah, get into the class. Guys, did you see on TikTok what's going on? Did you see... I see a pregnant...
It's the 2000 teacher.
Yeah, but in that way, you are approachable to them.
Yeah,
because they see that you're not just some guy living
some
in a
monster.
mansion, some monster living far. They know, okay, you also have Twitter. Oh, okay, nice. You also have this. Oh, okay. So
what if they stalk you though? Aren't you scared of being stalked?
Well, you know what? That is actually a very serious thing in South Africa. Hey,
yeah.
Students stalk teachers.
But I'd be curious too, like, okay, if we chill, because I mean, the teachers that you think are monsters or the teachers you're scared of, you don't even think about looking them up on social media. It's only after I matriculated and
that you actually look into their life.
And I'm like, oh, Mrs. Naidu, I remember you. What did you do with your life? Huh? Are you still a teacher? Let me look. But I mean, like, if you're so approachable, then they would naturally just want to.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that, as long as the relationship stays teacher-student relationship. That's it. We're not going to be friends now and go out together, no.
But what if they matriculate and they think, okay, Mr.
I mean,
Yalwa.
if after matriculation, I guess there's no harm in that, Yeah, but whilst you're still my student, no, you can't hang out with me.
Oh, there's boundaries, okay.
Yeah, there's boundaries. You have to limit yourself. You can't, no. Can't have full access.
There's always teacher scandals.
Yeah,
guys.
Exactly. So that's what you're trying to prevent. You don't want to be too kind, too
but
involved.
You also don't want to be too far away.
Yes, just the right amount of kindness.
Yeah. You're really passionate about this. I'm even wanting to be a teacher sitting here. I'm like,
Thank you, man.
What?
Come.
It was a waste of a degree that
just
I did.
do your PGCE. Come teach business studies.
Exactly, because I mean, I was actually thinking about doing PGCE. Because some people don't want to initially just do teaching.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm a person who I'd rather get a degree, corporate world, and then go do my PGCE.
Yeah.
Is there marketing in high school? What if I study
There's no
marketing?
There's business studies. You can be a business studies teacher.
Maybe I might just consider that. Hey?
Yeah.
Broaden my mind, go to South Korea with you, live our best life.
Exactly. Come. Come do the right thing, child.
Oh, Deb, but thank you so much for being here with me. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed learning so much more because I'm your friend and I didn't know half of the things that you were saying. Like, I didn't know 80% of the stuff he said here, guys. That's why I'm like, don't be like, I'm so shocked. Like, he's your friend, you should know.
We should meet regularly.
Like, I don't know about the financial management part, the certificates. Like, we all go through a lot in life, hey? But yeah, we always come out shining, guys. We always come out shining.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening to the voice of Nkosi. Thank you, Mr. Yalwa. And thank you to Standard Bank, guys. See you next time.
Sure.
Bye.